and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. The creation of favorable development conditions for the business climate in Ukraine remains one of the most urgent tasks. Ukraine's government has introduced a number of promising reforms since the Euromaidan Revolution in 2014, aiming to ease the investment climate and attract investors into the country. As a result, Ukraine has improved its position in the World Bank's 2020 Doing Business rating. It now holds 64th place out of 190 countries. What else still needs to be done to facilitate the economy's business climate? To discuss this and more, we welcome to our studio today Marcin Święcicki. He's a business ombudsman in Ukraine. Hello and thank you for joining us. Honored to have you here.
It's my pleasure also to be guest in this studio.
Thank you so much for coming. So as far as I know, in the year 2011, you were highly involved in the process of helping Ukraine enter World Trade Organization, the WTO. Now, 8 years later, in 2019, in the month of October, to be precise, on October 12th, you became the business ombudsman of Ukraine. This 8-year period, from 2011 to 2019, how did the business climate in Ukraine change, for the better or worse, your opinion?
Yes, first of all, small correction, because the entry to the WTO took place in 2008 already, after 14 years of negotiations. And it was a
long process.
A long process, yes. It was a precondition to open negotiations on a free trade agreement with the European Union. So it was very important to conclude this. And I just concluded my work in Ukraine at that time, at 2011. And I think that the business climate, of course, did improve quite a lot, you know, with many things. I remember at that time it was difficult to get a value-added tax refund, for example. Now there is a systemic approach to this, and value refund, but the refunds are coming somehow more automatically than it used to be. We have a Prozorro system, you know, in public procurement.
We're very proud of it.
Yes, very proud, yes, and I appreciate it very much so. And so there are many other improvements. Still, I would say that the image of the Ukraine is perceived through the war in the East, which is not so much affecting economy in other parts of the country. The climate is much better, you know, than it used to be even 5 years ago, of course. One of the testimonies of this is a conference in Mariupol, you know, that took place just 15 kilometers from front, and it was a normal conference with many participants, and city develops quite nicely during last 5 years. So I was really taken by surprise that it is possible with having still open conflict in the East. So the perception of Ukraine should be better than it really is.
Well, now that you are officially a business ombudsman of Ukraine, what aims have you set for Ukraine and yourself holding this position, and which of them do you consider to be as urgent as possible?
No, the general aim of this function, this office, Council of Ombudsman, is to improve, to increase confidence of business into Ukrainian institutions. So if a businessman is facing unlawful activity of government officials and cannot find a solution within the existing government institutions, so he can or she can turn to us for assistance.
Meaning
Ombudsman.
Business Ombudsman Council,
which is independent institution. We are taking our actions, you know, no matter whether government officials like it or not, but I mean, top officials, they like it. They count on our help, because not having many thousands of tax officials, custom officials, inspectors, police people all over the country, you cannot guarantee that all of them behave according to the rules, according to the law. So that's why our assistance, our work on the cases that we receive from business is so important to improve the work of the whole administration to discover weaknesses, to protect business interests,
Right.
legal interests. I mean, because we are not dealing as a lobby, we are not dealing as a between businesses, in conflicts between businesses. We are trying to ensure that Ukrainian law is applied to business, and business is not worried about unlawful activities of any public officials in Kiev or whenever in the country.
What are the most common complaints of the representatives of Ukrainian business?
Still, the greatest number of complaints deals with tax issues. Mm-hmm. There is improvement in one area. There are new problems, so to speak. For example, we receive a lot of complaints regarding, on the other hand, very important and needed system of qualifying companies as risky and non-risky companies. The companies are receiving status of risky company, but they don't know why, how to get out of this situation, what needs to be improved, who from among their clients is suspected, by tax offices. So this needs to be improved so that really business, if something is suspicious, uncertain, so that they know how they can improve this. So still we receive some cases regarding the cash, regarding the tax amounts, regarding the customs amounts, regarding the classification of taxes. But regarding other issues, we receive also complaints from on police, on licensing, on some local administration, some permits, for example, for construction. So those are areas when also one issue that is quite often that even court rulings are not executed by state officials. They are ignoring final court decisions. So this is worrying business very much.
Well, yes, this is a problem. Which international financial institutions does Ukrainian Business Ombudsman Council cooperate with? And are you planning to enlarge this list?
We are cooperating with, at this moment, very closely with two institutions. With the Organization of Economic Development and Cooperation in Paris, which is also present in Ukraine, but the institution with which we cooperate the most is the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Right. They are sitting in our supervisory board. They are organizing financing of our activities from among the donor countries and European Union. And also we cooperate with them on the substance, because the reports on the economic challenges they produce about economic obstacles, about economic climate are very helpful for us. On the other hand, we are also producing our systemic reports stemming from our observations, from the cases that we receive, with our recommendations. So I think that it's a mutual also cooperation regarding the economic climate in Ukraine, how to improve it, what should be done.
Well, speaking of further cooperation in improving the climate, the Ukrainian Business Ombudsman Council signed a memorandum with the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine. What is this memorandum all about, and how will it be implemented? How will it be work?
Memorandum is about cooperation regarding, first of all, the most difficult cases that we receive. So if the case is not solved on the lower level, so then of course we
report this
to the General Prosecutor to debate with him. Then also we propose several systemic corrections, for example, or improvements in the legislation, and we would like to discuss it with the Prosecutor General, with his office, to get their support. Some of our reports some of our recommendations have been already implemented. For example, the limit from which fiscal offense is treated as criminal offense. So this limit
and which is it?
I don't remember exact number, but it was tripled recently. You know, the number was very low, so many businesses having some problems with payments, some disputes with payments were treated as criminals. You know, and they don't deserve such treatment, even if there is a dispute regarding the amount to be paid. So this limit was substantially increased.
Okay. Well, similar, as far as I know, similar memorandums have also been mentioned concerning the State Tax Service and the State Customs Service of Ukraine. Have those been signed, and are they going to be operating on the same level as the memorandum signed with the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine?
Yes, the memorandums are important for us because first of all, they guarantee that all these officials that are under Prosecutor General or tax office or custom office or any other, because we signed several such memorandums, they are obliged to answer to our inquiries with motivation on time. Because if you are reviewing cases, we cannot deal if we don't know the position of the government official. Secondly, there are some expert groups set up, joint expert groups, in which we can discuss the most difficult cases and also discuss some systemic improvements that we need. So in every case of the memorandum, including the recently signed, the state heads of those institutions were very I would say, understanding about why they need such institution as Ombudsman, why it can improve trust of the business in state institution. However, we are presenting difficult cases. However, we are advocating the business interests, legal interests, those that are based on the legal substance, you know, legal laws of Ukraine. But nevertheless, they consider us as an important partner in improving the rule of law in Ukraine in general.
Well, yes, Ukraine is in need of that, and hopefully this is already happening. Thank you so much for coming today to the studio. That was Marcin Święcicki. He is the business ombudsman in Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching Head to Head. Stay tuned with UATV for more.